American electric car manufacturer Tesla was brought under the microscope of Chinese authorities after a disgruntled Tesla owner climbed on top of a display vehicle and sounded off that she was almost killed because of brake failure at the Shanghai Auto Show on April 19. According to an article by Irish Times, a large number of demonstrators protested the event, wearing T-shirts alleging Teslas had malfunctioning brakes. One protester, identified as a Tesla customer, had apparently demanded a refund after a crash in February, which she claimed was caused by brake failure. Negotiations were stymied after the owner was not willing to allow a third-party investigation into the cause of the accident. Tesla responded by saying that it would take responsibility for any issues with its vehicles, but added, "Our attitude is that we do not compromise with unreasonable complaints." China's state-run media and China's Central Commission for Political and Legal Affairs, the Communist Party's top legal authority, accused the American company of not being able to take criticism and criticised it for shirking responsibility. The missive was posted on Tencent's social media platform WeChat. According to reports, the party organ's criticism stated that Tesla's popularity came from consumer faith in the company, but arrogance, let alone a lack of respect for China's market and consumers, cannot be the response to that faith. The communist regime made its position clear to Tesla. Party state-run mouthpiece Xinhua asked in a separate article, "Who gives Tesla the confidence to not compromise?" After coming under fire by state authorities, Tesla's corporate HQ in Palo Alto backtracked, saying it had set up a team to manage the protesters' case, saying it would work with any government investigation. The protester was detained by Shanghai police for 5 days for disrupting the peace, according to AFP. The European Commission on Wednesday unveiled its proposed regulations on artificial intelligence to ensure the technology is trustworthy. The draft incorporated high-risk, limited-risk and minimal-risk factors. To remain globally competitive, the Commission is committed to fostering innovation in AI technology development and use across all industries, the draft said. AI systems or applications that manipulate human behaviour to circumvent users' free will, for example, toys using voice assistants encouraging dangerous behaviour of minors, and systems that allow social scoring by governments will be banned, as AI systems poses a clear threat to the safety, livelihoods and rights of people. All remote biometric identification systems are considered high risk and subject to strict requirements. Their life use in publicly accessible spaces for law enforcement purposes is prohibited, as it poses particular risks for fundamental rights, notably human dignity, respect for private and family life, protection of personal data and non-discrimination. Also, government social scoring, exploitation of children's vulnerabilities and use of subliminal techniques are considered high risks and will be banned. Using AI systems such as chatbots is considered limited risk, as users can decide to continue or step back. The free use of applications such as AI-enabled video games or spam filters fall under the minimal risk category. Military applications of artificial intelligence will not be covered by the rules, and special authorizations are envisioned to cover anti-terrorism activities and public security. The European Parliament and the Member States will review the Commission's proposals on a European approach for artificial intelligence and machinery products in the ordinary legislative procedure. If the proposal is accepted, the regulations will be amended across the EU. We want to encourage our businesses, our researchers, our innovators, the entrepreneurs to develop AI, and we want to encourage our citizens to feel confident to use it, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen told a press conference. "We want a set of rules that puts people at the centre," she said. At a recent lecture at Tsinghua University in Beijing, Marketing expert and visiting professor Zhang Qichao boasted about the Chinese Communist Party's strategy of modelling business practices and operations after stolen intellectual property and technologies from foreign companies. The act of plagiarising includes corporate espionage, hacking and construction of operational facilities through partnerships with foreign corporations that reside in mainland China. Zhang said, "We plagiarised widely, copied widely. What intellectual property rights? What patent technology? We'll get it first and deal with it later." He added, "When we look back, the factories are ours, the equipment is ours, the technology is ours, the patents are ours. The foreigners have all gone." A classic example of plagiarism occurred in the semiconductor industry when Chinese company Fujian Qinghua was charged with stealing IP from the American company Micron and was later banned from working with American companies altogether. Due to a lack of expertise in development, Chinese semiconductor companies sought out new hires from foreign contractors to be able to compete at the international level. The global superpower successfully recruited engineers from firms such as Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix of South Korea. According to analyst Sheng Chaonong, the former chief editor of Modern China Studies, the reason that Chinese companies lack motivation to innovate is because research and development involves risky and costly investments that may not pay off in the future. In contrast, stealing and copying popular products pays off immediately. Many Chinese companies are subsidized by the CCP and gain market share by outcompeting competitors with lower costs. Once cheap goods flood the marketplace and countries grow dependent on China to produce items at a low cost, commodities can then be used in trade weaponization to punish countries financially during international disputes. During trade wars, China often penalizes countries through tariffs or bans on incoming goods. This past winter, despite experiencing power shortages, China banned coal imports and levied heavy tariffs on wine imports from Australia. China also entices foreign companies to do business within its borders. Despite the fact that US corporations often experience IP theft and hacking incidents from Chinese individuals and companies, businesses continue to seek access to lucrative Chinese markets.